basically, you are looking at the people of Blackpool, the people at home. You will be looking at the next UWA heavyweight champion of the world. And that's all I gotta say on the matter.
You want to see some heavy stuff? We're going to be here.
Hello and welcome to this week's UWA Wrestling Rampage. I'm Dan Belenka, and in this hour we'll see the anarchist Doug Williams in his first UWA title defense against Steve Linsky's monster, the Highlander, Drew McDonald. Also in this hour we'll see the man that Drew McDonald won that title shot from. Danny Royal is here and will be in action. Shane and Murphy take on the Death Squad, but first we'll hear from the UWA television champion, Flying Phil Powers. 2 weeks ago, the television title match ended in a controversial no contest when Kerry Cabrera sealed his newfound alliance with challenger Stevie Knight with a brutal chair shot. Once the dust had cleared the following week, Stevie Knight demanded and was granted a rematch, but with the following stipulation: Paul Sloan will be the special guest referee. Well, Stevie Knight has been arguing that this is unfair. Paul Sloan is, after all, Phil Powers' protege, and Stevie Knight has been lobbying hard to add a stipulation of his own.
Sasha, my love, listen, I know you hold a lot of stroke here in the UWA. You've got a bit of pull with the management here in the UWA, yeah? Okay, listen, me and Carrie, we put our collective minds together, we've been thinking. Paul Sloan is the referee of my title match, as you know, with Phil Powers, the return title match. Now, as we all know, it's been plugged on TV week after week after week. Old conk, Paul Sloan, he was trained by Phil Powers. Now, me and Kerry are a little bit worried about the fact Paul Sloan could disqualify me to save Phil Powers' title. You must agree with me there, Sasha. It's quite possible, is it? Don't say anything, don't say anything, just listen. So what we was thinking was, if you could just have a word with the management, you know, use your valuable pull, you know, just
whatever
to make
it takes.
you know, whatever it takes, just to make it a no disqualification match. We've got faith in you, love. I'm going to leave it in your hands. We know you can do it. All right? Okay, love. All right, don't say anything yet. Just leave it. I'll expect the match to be no disqualification. Thank you, Sasha. Thank you, love. Thank you once again. Thank you. Come on, Kerry.
Well, Stevie Knight there pushing hard to add a no disqualification stipulation to his rematch for the television title against Phil Powers. We'll find out just what is the response from Sasha and the UWA officials right after this interview with the television champion, Flying Phil Powers.
Ladies and gentlemen, will you please welcome the UWA television champion, Flying Phil Powers!
Welcome, wrestling fans, to an absolutely jam-packed show. I'm Ross the Boss Gordon, and alongside me in the commentary booth, a man who's as strong as an ox and almost as smart, Mr. Steve Morgan.
Ross, it's lovely to have you back here, and viewers, if you're wondering where he's been, I can tell you, Ross the Boss has been on the run, and we're glad to offer you asylum here on the UWA. And back for a corker of a show.
Well, asylum isn't the word I look for.
You should be in one. You should be in one.
Phil Powers. Phil, we saw in your last defense against Hot Stuff Stevie Knight that you retained your championship belt under somewhat controversial circumstances, we would say.
Okay, let's stop that nonsense right now, okay? Kerry Cabrera, Hot Stuff Stevie Knight have got it into their heads that Steve Knight is somehow the UWA television champion. Well, let's put it right, plain and simple, right here, right now. Stevie Knight, if you think you're the UWA television champion, well, come on down to this ring right now, pal, and we'll fight it out for this championship. Come on, I want to see ya. Let's fight it out right now.
Woo! Get the man up. I mean, what's his argument? He was beaten. He was pinned by Stevie Knight, and yet here he is moaning in the ring.
He was only pinned because Kerry Cabrero interfered with a chair.
Well, here he
The
comes.
match-
You don't know what you're talking about. Here he comes.
Excuse me, Mr. Ignorant.
The soon-to-be crowned TV champion.
The only way Steve Knight could pin Phil Powers was by using outside interference, and the match, rightfully so, was ruled a no contest.
Come on down then! You want to be a champion? Get in this ring! You can even bring Kerry Cabrero down too, buddy! It don't matter! Just get in this ring right now!
And Stevie Knight and Phil Powers looks like they're going to get it on.
Yes!
But no, Phil disposes of Stevie Knight well over the top rope, crashing down into the hard floor. But look, here comes
It's
Kerry
Kerry, and
Cabrero.
Phil Powers has bitten off more than he can chew.
Kerry goes for the flatliner, but it's reversed into a hurricanrana. And here comes Paul Sloan. He's making his way down to ringside. What's going to go? He counts a three count.
It's a 3.
Well, it wasn't a match, but you could say if it was, Kerry Cabrero would have been defeated.
Let's have another look at that, because I can't believe what I've seen here.
Cabrero goes for the flatliner powerbomb, but Phil Powers acrobatically reverses it into a hurricanrana.
Well, you're going to have to beat the fly Phil Powers. And quite frankly, son, I just can't see that happening.
You're going to
Neither
end up
can I.
eating your words, Powers. You're going to end up eating your words.
He was speaking to you, Steve Morgan. He was saying he can't see Stevie Knight beating Flying Phil Powers for the television title, and quite frankly, neither can I. And of course, wrestling fans, next week on UWA Wrestling Rampage, you'll see Flying Phil Powers defend his television title against Hot Stuff Stevie Knight, with Paul Sloan, Phil's protege, as the referee. But today, still to come, we're going to see Doug Williams put his world title on the line against the Highlander Drew McDonald. But first, let's hear comments from the lovely Shorsha.
That's where we're going now to find out if that fight will be a non-disqualification competition. I hope so.
UWA committee have decided not to grant Stevie Knight a no DQ match. However, we have decided that the title belt can change on a disqualification. Therefore, guest referee Paul Sloan cannot make his decisions lightly.
Certainly, none of those decisions Paul Sloan will have to make will be taken lightly. I'm sure Paul Sloan will call the action down the line as fairly as he has been trained by Phil Powers.
Let's hope so. We'll find out next week. But right now, we await the arrival in the ring of Danny Royal, British Beef.
And his opponent, he stands at 6'1". He weighs a train-stuffing 245 pounds. He's British Beef, Danny Royal.
Danny Royal, in my opinion, one of the most talented individuals in the Ultimate Wrestling Alliance, and a personal favourite of mine.
Yeah, but you think with all that money, he'd buy a new pair of trunks, wouldn't you, Ross?
The Beef Man was very unfortunate a few weeks ago to lose to the Highlander Drew McDonald. He was in that #1 contender match for a shot at the UWA World title. But of course, we're going to see the match between the Highlander Drew McDonald and Doug Williams, our current champion, later on in the show. A match I'm extremely excited about.
I can't wait for it either. And I tell you this, Doug Williams has made a mistake in making an enemy of Steve Linsky. Doug, of course, sacked him in which was a very unkind fashion a few weeks ago now. Steve Linsky was more than a manager to Doug Williams. He was a mentor. He was everything. He built up that young man's career. And now Doug Williams will rue the day he ever did that when he steps into that ring to defend his UWA heavyweight title against Drew McDonald.
Well, you obviously think it was a mistake of Doug dropping Steve Linsky. Talking of mistakes,
of course it was.
It may have been a mistake for Justin Richards to get in the ring with the very technically sound Danny Royal.
Well, it doesn't look like it now. It looks as though Danny Royal is suffering.
I don't think so. Look at that great British wrestling ability being used there as Danny Royal hits a big power slam. Now he heads towards the top rope, but a drop kick brings him back down onto the canvas. I think these two are guys that we're going to have to watch for in the future. We haven't seen Justin Richards much before in the UWA, but certainly everything Danny Royal has done in the UWA so far has been impressive. He's just been a little bit unlucky in not getting the win-loss record of, say, someone like Doug Williams, who has a very impressive win-loss record, but that could all change tonight when he takes on Drew.
Well, Danny Royal was no competition for Drew McDonald.
That's not true.
He was no competition.
That is not true. It took an exposed turnbuckle to let Danny
Which can
Royal
be nasty
lose.
If you don't know what you're doing with an exposed turnbuckle. I've seen men shed tears.
Look at the power in the ring exhibited by Danny. The beef man there used a giant suplex. Did you hear it as it crashed down onto the canvas? That's going to have hurt Justin Richards. And now what's he going for here? This is another patented move of his. The crowd, listen to the crowd. It's the beef man press slam. And look at the pain on Justin Richards' face. Danny Royal must have the match almost won now. I think it's in the bag. Richards is slow to get back to his feet. Danny Royal is sending a message not only to Drew McDonald, not only to Steve Linsky, but to every wrestler in the UWA that he wants a piece of them, and he can get a piece of them by using the skills he's using just now.
That's not the message he's sending them. The message he's sending them is he needs new trunks.
Why does he need new trunks? He's showing that he's proud of his country. A great spinning power bomb there. But it's not good enough to get the 1, 2, 3. Danny seemed a little bit cocky there, almost playing to the crowd. And what's he doing? This is it. This is his trademark move. It's the beef bomb. That's it. That'll get the pinfall. No one kicks out from that. 1, 2, 3. Danny Royal sending a message round the UWA with a very convincing win over Justin Richards here tonight.
Still to come on UWA Wrestling Rampage. The UWA title is on the line. The anarchist Doug Williams must face the Highlander Drew McDonald. But up next, Shane and Murphy take on the Death Squad.
Welcome back, people of Britain, for UWA Wrestling Rampage. You join us now with Shane and Murphy about to enter the ring to take on the Death Squad. The winner of this contest will get a title shot.
And coming to the ring first, standing 6 feet 2 and 6 feet 5 and a half, they have a combined weight of 470 pounds. They are Shane and Murphy.
Here we have the chalk and cheese combination, the arrogance here, as we saw a few weeks ago when Alex Shane decided to get an opposing competition with a ringside bodybuilder. And he suffered for that with that punch, which knocked him to the ground, causing their team to lose the match against Too Far Gone.
We are without a doubt the best tag team in the UWA. So why is it that week after week we wrestle without getting shut up? We wrestle without getting a shot at the tag team titles. Shut it! I am somebody nobody will listen to what I have to say. Now, the reason we don't get a shot at the tag team titles, and Leon, this is directed to you, my friend. Every tag team, you've got the Death Squad, you've got Too Far Gone, and we're Shane and Murphy. Now, what kind of a tag team name is that? So, it becomes apparent to me that we need a really nice tag team name for us to get a shot
Dumb and
at tag
Dumber.
titles. So, I think, seeing as I'm a man of action, and I like action films, my favourite genre called Van Damme film is called Double Impact. So from now on, Shane and Murphy are known as Double Impact. And the second thing that becomes very apparent to me, obviously by looking at me you can tell that I have good looks, I have charisma, I have a great body, and I have great wrestling talent. And then look at this guy. Leon, you're fat, you're out of shape, and to be quite honest, you let down the team. But don't worry, Leon, don't worry, because I know the secret to make us tag team champions, and I've got it right here in this bag. Leon, the thing you are missing is without a doubt a pair of PVC pants like mine.
Don't go down that route, Leon! You'll never come back!
And we're going straight to the top of the UWA.
Before you know it, you'll be performing at the Vauxhall Tavern on a Friday night!
We need to be into
The what,
something
Steve?
just
The
like
what?
he does, and that's sit down, shut up, and
Never
give
you mind.
some goddamn respect.
I can probably guess what it is, and I know why you know what it is.
Shut your face, you!
And hearing that song can only mean one thing. It's time for the entrance of one of the most popular teams here in the Ultimate Wrestling Alliance, if not the most popular team. Individually, they are Iron, Duke Lynch, and the Hammer, Mark Meyer. They are the Death
And
Squad.
coming to the ring now, preceded by one half of the Tiny Girls Lana, they are recognized as the most destructive tag team in the world. They are the Death Squad.
The original tag team champions here in the UWA. They got their own belts and they were recognized by the UWA as their belts could
They
be...
were lovely belts as well that they made.
And these belts are now the official UWA tag team titles.
But of course, those belts didn't remain in the possession of the Death Squad for long.
Oh no, in a match which saw the Death Squad take on Big Papa T and the high-flying Jody Flash. Here we see Big Papa T interfering into the contest when he wasn't the legal man, which let Jody Flash hit a springboard spinning DDT for the 1, the 2 and the 3 to see the team of Jody Flash and Big Papa T capture the tag team titles. But the following week, Big Papa T abandoned Jody, choosing to run after Frank, the man
The
that we don't...
mysterious Frank!
The man that I certainly don't know a lot about, which saw Too Far Gone take out Jody Flash, and yet again, we had a title change which saw Too Far Gone become the tag team champions.
I really don't know about Double Impact. I really don't. But tell you what, we just thought of a good tag team name for both of you. What about Dumb and Dumber?
Have they been listening to you, Steve?
They certainly do. They're wise boys, these ones.
Not if they've been listening to you.
Right, well, cheer up, boys, because I don't know if some people will remember from a week or two ago, but we lost the belts. We're going to get them back, but we've got a little bit of a bonus so we can get some viable tag teams to come against us, which is this. Some people remember us coming down to ringside on the bike. Well, fire regulations say we're not allowed to come down with it again, but I assure you it's our bike.
It's not like the Death Squad to respect the rules.
The keys and the paperwork, as you can see, Mr. Cameraman, for the said vehicle. Now, tonight, and in every other match that we have, that machine is up for grabs. So as well as your wages, boys, you take home the bike, and anyone else who beats us. So there we go. Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for work.
Viewers, I can tell you how much Iron Duke loves that bike. It is his pride and joy, much like one half of the Tiny Girls there. But to put it on the line like that must mean that these boys are serious about getting back those tag team belts.
They're either serious about getting the belts back, or they're perhaps not taking the challenge of Double Impact seriously.
But would you take them seriously with a name like that?
I certainly would. They're fine grapplers as we see the Hammer lock up and go into an arm bar on Leon Murphy.
Leon Murphy looks like an escaped convict.
Leon Murphy looks like a legitimate hard man, something you are not.
Oh, yeah? Don't cross words with me, boy.
The teams in the UWA, in fact, all the wrestlers in the UWA are trained, highly professional athletes. And I'm looking here at the team of the Death Squad and their entourage they normally bring with them, the Tiny Girls. There's only one Tiny Girl with them. I wonder what's up there. Do you know anything, Steve?
Yeah, I've done a runner with the other one. Ha ha ha! Ho ho!
Yeah, attached to a barge pole. That was for her benefit, of course.
Thank you, Ross.
Here we have Duke Lynch now. taking to bits Alex Shane. He sends Shane off the ropes and hits a big clothesline. Alex Shane stands 6'5". And now, once again, set off the ropes, and Leon Murphy and Alex Shane using some great double team tactics there to take down the Death Squad. As I've said before, regardless of a wrestler's size and regardless of his strength, if you take him down onto the mat, you take away those advantages. However, Alex Shane certainly doesn't need to do that because he's a big enough man. As we see now, a huge double suplex on giant Duke Lynch.
Well, as I said earlier, the winners of this contest will get a title shot, and we will hear from the tag team champs, Too Far Gone, after this match on their reaction on the outcome of this battle royale. Now, Ross, I heard a rumour you may have some information about live events in the UWA. Can you give me any information?
I can't tell you anything at the moment.
You what?
What I can tell you, fans, is that you can watch it on TV, and yes, it is exciting on TV, but it's 1,000 times more exciting to see it live, in the flesh, in the arena. You've got to savour the atmosphere in a way you just can't do sitting on your couch at home, swigging down a bottle of 26p cheap cola. You've got to come to an event, and we'll tell you more information on live events for the UWA, where you can catch all the action live in the next part of the show.
I want to go along with that. Viewers, you haven't sampled the joys of live wrestling until you have sat there in the arena and smelt Ross the Boss's BO, because it's a moment you'll treasure. Ooh!
I'm a clean person, unlike you. But speaking of clean action, we're seeing some very good action in the ring at the moment. And fans, I can give you a little bit of a scoop here. We can give you a little bit of a scoop. The winners of this match will be on the hotline tonight, so join us. The number's coming up at the end of the show. Join us in the hotline to hear from the winners of this match. And look, the tiny girl is distracting Alex Shane. He seemed to have the match won, but the tiny girl distracted him. And now, what's this?
He ought to start thinking with his head, that boy, and stop thinking with his...
Yes, well, a tombstone pile driver there will just stop him thinking, full stop. As Duke Lynch now appears to have the match won, and they hit the Sheffield Hammer for the 1, the 2, and the 3.
Bingo!
And Leon Murphy at ringside doesn't look happy.
Here he goes! Finish him off, Mark! They always like to make sure that their job, if it's worth doing, it's done properly. Stop picking your nose, boy in the front row.
Why wasn't Leon Murphy helping out Alex Shane yet?
Well, you may ask that, Ross, but all I know is we are left with two worthy victors in the shape of the Death Squad.
Oh, yes. Well, it looks like the paperwork and the keys are coming home with us again tonight, Marco. Yeah? Here we go.
Too far gone. If you're watching, get ready, because what we did to them is nothing. And I repeat, nothing compared to what we're going to do to you!
The Death Squad is always making waves with each appearance in the UWA. And fans, coming up soon, a commercial break in which I'll go off and find information about live events.
Would you, Ross? That would be most helpful.
But what's going on here? There seems to be dissent between Shane and Murphy. Double Impact.
Are they arguing about PVC pants? That's the question!
But we're going to go to the current World Tag Team Champions in the UWA. It's Steve Morocco, Paul Terrell, Too Far Gone.
So Paul, what is this with Dane Erickson on the show tonight?
Steve, I just don't know what's going on. Dane Erickson, who is this guy? You know, he's a nobody. The UWA, I mean, they're forcing us to defend our titles against people that aren't worthy of a title shot. You know, we're the UWA Tag Team Champions. We should be getting treated better than this. We deserve more respect. I'm taking on a singles match against Dane Erickson. You know, I mean, I'd like to think it would be a warm-up, Steve, but...
Probably will be.
It's not even going to be a warm-up. Dane Erickson, this match is coming up shortly. For you, it's going to come round too soon, and you're going to wish it never even happened.
The Vikings
Welcome back, fans. Once again, I'm Ross the Boss Gordon alongside Steve Morgan. And during the break, as promised, I've been doing a little bit of investigating.
What can you tell us, Ross?
Well, live event news for the Ultimate Wrestling Alliance. I can tell you the next show will be in the area of the M25.
Oh, come on, that could be anywhere. Surely you must know more.
Well, I suppose I can tell you it will be a homecoming of sorts.
Sounds interesting. Sure you can't tell us any more?
Well, I can tell you it's going to be in about the next 4 weeks, and I'll keep you posted.
Thank you, Ross.
And here we have Too Far Gone coming out. But of course, it's only going to be Paul Terrell taking part in this match. This is Paul Terrell's first singles match in the UWA. You know, within the last few weeks, we've seen an attitude change from Too Far Gone. They've gone from being nice guys, from liking the fans, to really not giving a damn anymore. And look at that, they don't even have respect for the tag titles they hold.
Sacrilege! Sacrilege! Do you know how much work the Death Squad put into actually constructing and making those belts out of pure Sheffield steel? They slaved for weeks over those belts, and yet these two just cast them aside like that.
And Steve, here's a little bit of a scoop for you. Here's a little bit of history. Paul Terrell used to be a former tag team partner of none other than Ultimate Wrestling Alliance television champion Flying Phil Powers.
I hate him! Get out! Well done, ref.
Of course, Phil may not be the television champion after next week, where he puts the title back on the line against Hot Stuff Stevie Knight.
Well, as I said before, Ross, we saw Stevie Knight earlier, and indeed we saw Phil Powers. And Stevie Knight, I am convinced, will be the new TV champion. There's no doubt in my mind about that one. Of course, that's next week, and already this evening to look forward to, we've got Drew McDonald up against Doug Williams as he defends his UWA heavyweight title.
Exactly, the big one, the big one. It's the UWA World title. And I'm looking so forward to that match. I think Doug Williams will probably win, but that's just because I like him a bit more. Drew McDonald has Steve Linsky, and we all know about Steve Linsky's tactics and what a force Drew McDonald is to be reckoned with, as we saw him beat Danny Royal to take the #1 contendership for the UWA World title.
That fight is going to be payback. That is going to be payback.
You know, we've talked about the change of attitude, and it's what I've said about a few wrestlers. You don't have to like their attitude, but you must respect their ability, as we see a great missile drop kick off the top rope from Paul Terrell. That's, of course, a maneuver that his former tag team partner Phil Powers also used.
I hate him!
And of course, in 2 weeks' time, we'll see Too Far Gone back in the ring as a unit, defending their tag team titles against the #1 contenders for those belts, which of course is the Death Squad. And it won't just be the belts which are on the line, it will be the Death Squad's bikes.
You know, Ross, I'm a patriot and everything else, but even I have to salute the power of the Viking here. He's gone about attempting to conquer the British boy, Paul Terrell, but there is a lot of power there. And you see it go down like that. The bigger they are, the harder they fall, as they say.
You've got to wonder if Paul Terrell is a little bit rusty in terms of singles competition.
Did you see him fly out of there?
Onto the hard floor. As I was saying, you've got to wonder, oh, that's gotta hurt.
Oh my God, hold on. That
say?
Spectator's nearly as fat as the Viking. Get him in the ring. Paul Terrell's fighting the wrong bloke.
You're obviously missing the point, Steve. Wrestlers need talent, wrestlers need wrestling ability to get in the ring. Not anyone can just step through those ropes. But as I was saying, I'll finally get it out. Do you think that Paul Terrell is perhaps a little bit rusty? He's been competing for so long in tag team matches. He hasn't been involved in a singles match for quite some time, and certainly not involved in one in the UWA. But what's Paul Terrell going for now? He lifts the Viking to the top rope. A few punches, stuns the Viking. And what's this? This could be a terrific maneuver. I think he's going for a hurricanrana off the top rope. Oh my God.
Viewers, I can tell you now that Ross the Boss has just passed out. He's foaming at the mouth with excitement over that move. I've never seen a young man in such a deep state of joy.
But come on, let's be serious. Look at it again. That is a beautiful technical aerial move. Superb wrestling. Anyone who is a wrestling fan has to appreciate what they're seeing in the ring. Superb action. I'm proud to be part of this promotion.
We've got more of a match coming up pretty soon. Drew McDonald against the anarchist, Doug Williams.
Too Far Gone have their first title defence in just 2 weeks' time. Right now, however, all eyes are on the anarchist. Will he still be the UWA champion after this encounter with Drew McDonald? We certainly know that Doug Williams is a tough competitor. In the Triple Trouble match, Knight and Cabrero threw pretty much everything they had at him, and Doug still came out victorious. However, when Drew McDonald called Doug out just a couple of weeks ago, the wily Highlander drew first blood, reopening that ugly head injury sustained in the Triple Trouble match. Has the anarchist recovered sufficiently? We're about to find out.
Drew McDonald, title match is coming up, and I'm going to beat you like a dog.
It's time for the world title match to take place. And out first is going to be the challenger, Drew McDonald, with his manager, a man I don't like, Steve Linsky.
You may not like him, but you've got to respect him.
Hey, that's my line.
Well, I've been working with you for too long now, Ross. I've even started to dress like you. What do you make of this kilt? I joke, of course. But we can hear the man now. Steve Linsky, accompanied by Drew McDonald.
Sight to behold in British professional wrestling, standing 6 feet 1 from the wing, a shattering 330 pounds. He is the Highlander, Drew McDonald.
I'm scared sitting in the commentary booth watching this wrestler. His legs are like tree trunks. Here we see how Drew McDonald won this title shot by besting Danny Royal. Steve Linsky removed the turnbuckle.
Wait a minute. I have something to say. Better to burn up than to fade away.
Rock on!
Anarchist, I have a message for you. The demons that lurk deep in my head demand a sacrifice. And you, anarchists, will be that sacrifice. We are going to take you to the other side, brother. And you had better get on your knees and pray to your stinking Nazarene God to save your soul, because your body belongs to us.
What the hell is he saying?
Well, you're Scottish, you must understand it, but this is how Doug Williams became a man alone in the UWA when he booted his manager Steve Linsky out of the ring.
I mean, here's the anarchist. Great as he is, but I'm shocked by what I just heard Drew McDonald say. He said his body belonged to who? And what God? I can't make any sense of this. I'm scared just sitting here.
Well, he's probably your next door neighbour in Glasgow or wherever you're from. You must be able to understand what he's on about. It's me who has trouble.
I'm from Royal Stirling, and he certainly doesn't live next door to me.
Well, it's not a big place, is it, Scotland? He's probably a neighbour.
I'll ignore those comments. Now we're going to see a great match here. The talking is done. The action will begin. Drew McDonald is a super heavyweight. The man possesses muscles where people just normally don't have muscles. And as great an athlete as Doug Williams is, he certainly can battle the power game against Drew McDonald.
Like Drew McDonald also knows Doug Williams' Achilles heel. Remember the head injury he sustained in the Triple Trouble match, which Drew went for, and I think he's going to go for again in this contest.
We see now the Anarchist applying a side headlock, but Drew McDonald just brushes the Anarchist off and once again knocks him down to the canvas. Doug ran into Drew. Drew hardly flinched, and Doug hit hard on the ground. But now Doug gets a comeback. A superb back body drop, gets a 1, gets a 2, almost a near fall. A near fall, nearly scoring the pinfall victory early on.
It's a great contest. There's more to come, people, after the break.
Hi there, fans. You're joining us just as the action is starting to heat up. As we see Doug Williams now on the outside and taking a terrible beating against the guardrail from the Highlander, Drew McDonald.
What I'm wondering, Ross, is whether or not Steve Linsky is going to get a few slide punches in as well.
I'm just waiting for that to happen. I'm not wondering, I'm just waiting. Doug Williams' beating from Drew McDonald is systematic. He's being taken down bone by bone, structure by structure in his body. He's worked on his head. He's now working on his back. How long before he goes to work on his legs?
I will say this for Doug, though. We know he can take a lot of punishment after seeing him in that Triple Trouble match. We know he can take it. Oh my God, and he can dish it out as well.
Look at that, a tremendous suplex on the outside.
Let's take another look at that, Ross, my son, because it was superb.
That's going to hurt Drew McDonald. Look at the power exhibited by the Anarchist. That man is a monster. He is an absolute monster. He makes me wonder if he really is a human being at all with what he was talking about.
Well, he's a Scotsman, so I don't know if that counts.
He's well-bred, certainly. Well-bred, and the Anarchist, it's... Oh, my God!
Oh, my word!
Did you see that? A cross-body block sent both men crashing to the outside, over the top rope and down onto that hard surface. What do we have here? Oh, this could be dangerous. This could be brutal. That could put Doug Williams out of the sport. If he has landed badly there, that could be Doug Williams out of the sport. If he's landed well, he's going to be in tremendous pain. But if he's landed badly, I fear a referee should be stopping this. The match can't continue. He's just been powerbombed on the outside. For the love of God, have some respect and stop the match. This is horrible.
Oh my God! Doug Williams now, as I said before, is the loner in the UWA, and never has he felt so alone right now up against Drew McDonald.
Doug Williams cannot defend himself. He's been beaten from pillar to post.
I told you!
From hard.
Only one!
Drew McDonald.
What on earth was that?
Drew McDonald has been bust open now. There's blood in this match. Oh my. Stop
There's
the ref.
blood and not much diction.
Stop the match, referee. This is sick. This isn't a match. This has gone beyond the match. Doug Williams is out. He's out. Look. He's barely moving. A side slam. This is it. 1, 2. Oh my! Doug Williams kicks out at the very last moment.
Shaking his head there. He's thinking, what does it take? What does it take to put this man down to win this contest? I think there is respect there for what Doug Williams is taking, the punishment, the beating that Doug Williams is taking from Drew McDonald.
He should be submitting. He should be submitting, but he has too much heart. He has too much courage. He's got too much fight in him to know when to quit.
Steve Linsky will have told Drew McDonald not to underestimate this man. Having managed him for so long, he knows, he's well aware of the beating and the pounding that he can take. And the fact that he's capable of coming back from seemingly nowhere to win a fight. So Steve Linsky, I know, as a great manager, would have told Drew, just don't underestimate him.
What we are seeing here is the ability that is required to be a world heavyweight champion. It doesn't take coming in the ring and doing silly poses. It doesn't take getting on the mic and shouting your mouth off. It takes pure wrestling ability and fight. Fight in your soul, in your spirit, and in your body. And that's what being a world heavyweight champion is all about in this sport. And I say it again, this is not a joke, a Saturday morning cartoon. This is a sport. And we are seeing two of the greatest athletes exhibit their tenacity in the ring. Surely this must be it if Drew McDonald hits this.
Ross, here comes the pain! Here comes the pain!
2, 3, no, only 2. Steve Linsky looks in shock. Steve Linsky looks in shock.
Well, Ross, you know, I've been a big fan, a big supporter of Steve Linsky, but even there, I saw on his face the sheer disbelief in his eyes. Even he didn't think that Doug Williams could stand for all this.
Drew McDonald now ascends to the top rope. He thinks he's going to take it up to another level, but no, the Anarchist is back on his feet. I can't believe this. The Anarchist is back on his feet, hitting a huge superplex off the top rope. A huge superplex, getting tremendous elevation. 1, 2. Drew McDonald kicks out. What will it take to put either of these individuals down? I thought Doug Williams was finished, but it could be Drew McDonald finished now as Doug Williams hits his patented German suplex for the 1 for the 2. Steve Linsky had no right interfering there, and Doug is now shouting at Linsky. But look, Drew McDonald's taken down the turnbuckle pad.
No, it fell down. It was an accident.
It fell down by the hands of Drew McDonald as he hits another power bomb.
Well, you get in there and tell him that.
Here comes Danny Royal, the beef man. The beef man.
What is he doing here?
He whips Drew McDonald into the corner.
He's still got those raggedy trunks on.
An Asai moonsault. This could be it. Turn round, referee. 1, 2, 3. That's it. Doug Williams successfully defends his title as Danny Royal came in and got his receipt. His receipt on the Highlander. He exposed the turnbuckle, the Highlander himself.
Danny Royal! Danny Royal should be kicked out of the UWA!
I want to have another look at that. Let's see what happened again. Here we see Danny Royal hitting the ring. Then a great Irish whip sends Drew McDonald into the exposed turnbuckle of pure steel. And then it left Doug Williams to hit the Asai moonsault to get the pinfall cover. And I'm losing my voice because
that was an absolute outrage. And as I said before, Danny Royal, shame, shame, shame.
It just goes to show, nothing beats the chaos theory. And although Danny Royal, you came down and you did your bit here in the ring, it doesn't matter because I'd have beaten him anyway. Because I am the UWA champion. As far as I am that, anarchy's going to rule in the UWA.
Anarchy certainly is prevailing in the UWA to round off another jam-packed, action-filled show. What a show we have just witnessed, and more to the point, what a title defence Doug Williams has just done.
Don't forget, next week, we've got Stevie Knight up against Phil Powers. Join us!
For more information on the Ultimate Wrestling Alliance, call the UWA hotline on 0660 020 009. Calls cost 50p a minute, and you must have permission from whoever pays the bill before calling. Or you can write or email us at the address on your screen.